Hello, this is Studious Octopus and I just wanted to do a quick haul video today. It's mostly E.L.F Cosmetics UK stuff, which is eyes, lips, face. Most people probably know that, and a couple of other extras from a couple of other shops. So Distributee announced on their social medias that they're going to not be distributing E.L.F anymore, so they had a big sale of all of their stuff, 70% off, 60% off, 50% off, so on and so on. So I picked up a bunch of stuff because I had always intended to try them to see what they're like. I suspect there's going to be a new distributor. I think that's the idea anyway. Hope would be nice because some of it seems quite good. So I'm just going to show you the stuff. So it came in this nondescript little envelope here. I didn't buy a huge amount of stuff because I was only sort of trying out the brand. So from the top, I picked up two different foundations. This is the HD Mattifying Oil-Free Cream Foundation in the shade Porcelain. I'm just pulling it out now. So here's the box for that. And you can see the shade there on this end, Porcelain. And this is the compact. So it's a compact style, quite big. You open it up and you have a mirror, quite nice sized. You have the pan full of product, again quite nice size, and you have a hidden compartment with a sort of a facial sponge here as well. So as you can see, I used this one yesterday. I wore this all day yesterday. It's a really interesting foundation because it has a very creamy, very liquidy texture. It kind of melts when you're rubbing it on your hand, or with your finger rather. But then when you apply it on something like your hand or your face and you blend it out, it becomes a powder texture. You can see this is it on my hand here, all this area. You actually can't really tell where it is very well, which is actually very interesting. I haven't had one of the foundations that sort of transitions from one type to another. I think it works quite well. It isn't quite as matte as if you put on a foundation and mattified it with powder. It still has a bit of a shine. The other thing I'm quite impressed by is that it's actually a very good match for my skin tone, which is why it's actually quite hard to see it showing up there. I'm a little unsure sort of about the sponge. It's a bit thin and a bit... I'm just not that convinced by it. But you could also put on this foundation with a brush or with a sort of the bigger beauty complexion type sponges, or you could replace this inside the compact. I do like the compact style. It's very, you could just use the one thing, take it with you. It's got the applicator and the mirror. Also, because it has a cream to powder finish, when you put it on, you don't need powder if you're fine with the finish that you've gotten. So it kind of saves you some time from using a traditional foundation. It doesn't have the highest coverage, but I actually thought it was really lovely. I'm going to compare this to the next one, which is the E.L.F Moisturising Foundation Stick. I got this in the shade Ivory. I could only really get the shades that were available. So this is a pan stick style formation. And this one is enriched with lots of things that are supposed to be good for your skin. Whereas the selling point of the compact is more that it's just oil free. So this is the stick. It pops off and you push it up. Stick. Now this ivory shade is a touch paler than the porcelain shade for the compact, but they're actually both still pretty good for my face, for my... what's the word I'm looking for? They're both pretty good for my complexion shade, which is quite nice, which means it's quite a good brand for paler people. So this is the one that I'm actually wearing right now. Very, very easy to apply. You just kind of pencil it on almost like you're drawing on your face and then you blend it out. I blended mine out with the Real Techniques complexion sponge, and you do actually get a really lovely finish. I've mattified it with a powder, just a Rimmel one, because it doesn't give you a matte finish like this does. It gives you sort of a traditional foundation finish. It's also higher coverage than the compact version. Out of the two of them, this one feels more comfortable on my face, which I think is quite important, but I don't always usually go for high coverage foundation. I also like the ease of use of this one. This one was a bit easier and a bit quicker to put on, so I think it's kind of a, not sure which one I prefer. They're both really good, but in different ways, so I think it would be worth having both of them. Price wise, I do have a little bit of paper here. I paid £3.98 for this one and £2.39 for this one. These were both massively reduced prices because they were on sale. I'll probably end up having the actual true prices of the product. And size wise, let's see. So you get more in the stick than you do in the pan, but not by such a big degree. This is about 10 grams and this is about 14. The other little item I picked up, mostly because I was curious about it, is the E.L.F HD Blush, which is actually kind of smaller than I thought it would be. It's a really cute little bottle. This is another one of the E.L.F products that sort of says it's enriched with stuff that's good for your skin, and it's quite straightforward and quite affordable. So I haven't had a blush quite like this. It's in like a foundation format, so it's quite a tiny tub, but you squeeze it out into your hand and you get a little bit of the product. And I do think actually for my paler skin, because this is the palest shade that you can get, which is the shade Headliner, is that right? Yeah. That you still actually need to use it quite sparingly because it is quite pink, but it's very nice because it has sort of the cream liquid consistency. It actually blends really wonderfully and blends out and blends out and blends out. So I think this is actually really lovely. I haven't used it that much. I don't have it on today. And it also says it's rich pigmentation, which is lovely. This cost me £1.35. And again, this is the sale price, so I can have the normal everyday price. And I know these come in actually quite a range of colours that looks really nice. So I think this is actually really lovely. These are the eyeshadow sticks. They're the jumbo eyeshadow stick. I don't actually have any eyeshadows like this. Sort of the idea of an eyeshadow is a pencil that you just kind of draw on your face. A lot like the pan stick. It kind of is very interesting in a user-friendly kind of way. So this is the jumbo eyeshadow stick. Again, they all have quite basic, sort of not cheap looking, but not fancy looking sort of packaging and product sort of containers. But there's nothing wrong with that. So this is 3 grams, which is about eyeshadow size, I think. And they have quite a thick end and they twist up at the bottom and you get all the shadow. So I got 2 shades. This is Midnight Rendezvous, which I'm not sure how well it's showing up, but it's a sort of a black and grey with glittery pigmenting in it. And I have tried these a little bit yesterday, and I quite like actually that they also have quite a creamy consistency, a bit like the blush. It's kind of like a really creamy crayon. So you can draw it on, I'm having trouble aligning it, you can draw it on quite thickly, where you get a quite dark colour. Oh, it does actually blend out really, really easily because of that creamy consistency. And again, like with the stick and the blush, I think these make them really, really easy to use. So you can just draw it on and blend it out even just with your finger, and it still looks quite good. So that is the shade Midnight Rendezvous, which is quite nice. And yes, it's sort of a grey, almost greeny tinted black with glitter. But I think that's quite nice. And the other shade I got, which is this one here, which I haven't opened yet, is called Barley Bound, and it is a lovely green colour. I don't know how clear that is. But again, it's the same idea. It's 3 grams. It's in a lovely, easy to use format. And I'm actually really impressed with all of those things. I really think the brand is very good for not just that it's affordable, because it is affordable, but what actually impressed me more, I think, was how easy it all was to use and how easy it all was to blend, which I think is really important. So nail polishes. First off, I just got the basic clear nail polish, which I quite like that it says at the top there that it is free from lots and lots of things, which is really good. And it's a lovely big size. These are, oh, there we go, 10 millilitres, which is pretty big. And this nail polish in clear cost £1.25. Just isn't actually the cheapest you could get a clear nail polish, but I have used this one and it is actually very nice for the price. Now the other nail polish I got was this E.L.F nail polish, one of their coloured ones, and this is in the colour Party Purple. I have this on my nails, and unfortunately I don't know how much you can see, but it has that consistency where it isn't drying and it's staying on your nails in kind of a strange consistency, and it kind of smushes around even if you leave it for like half an hour and you put on quite a thin coat. This is 2 thin coats, and it's what I suspect is just that the nail polish is kind of a bit old and a bit past its best, which is a shame. You can see it's sort of smushed. And it is actually still quite smushy. I put this on yesterday now to try out, and I've sort of bared with it for the video. The other thing that makes me think that is the packaging is kind of coming apart, and the glue that was set it has just dried up. So I think I unfortunately just ended up getting a nail polish that was a bit old and a bit past its best, because the clear one works fine, which is a shame. So this is the colour in Party Purple. Not sure how obviously it comes up, but it's sort of a black and purple, almost colour changing effect simply because of the lighting, but it also has a little bit of glitteriness. It's actually really lovely, but since it was only 75p because it was on sale, I suspect I might just throw it out because I can't really return it, but it's sort of the wrong consistency. It just doesn't work well enough. There we go, which is a shame. So that's the E.L.F stuff, which, like I said, overall I think I am really happy with what I got for trying it out. They're really good value and really easy to use, which I think is the more important bit, especially sort of if you're just getting into makeup, because they're so easy to use. I think that's important. I'm not sure what I'd say are my absolute favourite items. I think part of it is that both of the foundations are really good for really different reasons. It would be very easy to justify having both, and neither of them are that expensive that you couldn't buy both. So I do think their foundations are something you should definitely try, especially if you're paler like me, because it's actually a very good match and it was very easy to put on, and this one is quite high coverage, so that's lovely. But yes, moving on, I picked up a couple of other items. One of them, I picked up the Boots No. 7 Beautiful Skin Hot Cloth Cleanser, which is something I've really been wanting to try for quite a while actually. My simple oil control for face wash is just about used up. So this is one of the most popular, I think, No. 7 items that you can get. It comes in a really quite large tub. This is 200 millilitres, really big, will last a good long while. It's a lovely, really creamy looking consistency inside and comes with a pump dispenser. And the other thing you get is one of these, which is the cloth potion. So the idea is you put on this quite creamy face wash, and then you put this in hot water, as it says, as hot as you're comfortable with. and then you sort of steam your face and steam the impurities out, I think is the idea. This is usually £10, but I got it using the Boots £5 off skincare voucher, so I basically got it for half price, which I think is a fantastic deal. So for only £5 for something this big, which I'm hoping will be lovely, very happy with that. And then the other little thing that I got was a couple of small items from Lush. Most of them are things that I don't particularly need to show off. We got 2 bubble bars. I really love these bubble bars. One of them was for my other half, which is the comforter, which is pretty much our go-to bubble bar. It has the most amazing smell, and I thought I would try out the Bright Side bubble bar. But one of the... I'll just put that back in there. One of the very interesting new things I did get is the Pot of Gold shower jelly, and this is one of the items that they have in for Easter. I'm not sure if they have it in every Easter, but it's one that they have in right now for Easter, and that's it. It has a really interesting smell. It's very sweet, but I couldn't tell you exactly what kind of sweet. It says it's citrus, vanilla, and seaweed extract. And I quite like this, that it says on the packaging that you can actually use it as a soap for everything. It's suitable to use on your hair, on your body, which is cool. I like the multi-purpose ones. And there's the obvious appeal that it's a soap that's a jelly. I think I've played with that enough. It also has a sort of a slight glimmery sheeniness, which does transfer off onto your hand a little. I don't know how well that's picking it up. But you do get sort of the sheeniness on your hand. The only thing that's a shame is it's kind of awkward to put back into the container, but there we go. That, I think, is really, really lovely. So that's all the stuff that I got for now. So that was just my mini haul. I'll see you again next time, which will probably be for the April glossy box, which is going to be another limited edition packaged one. Something to do with Hollywood beauty. Bye bye.